Hey, what's up, Hoovians? Friends of Ood-Kind here, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing two episodes from the first story. This is going to be Forrest of Fear and the Firemakers. So let's get straight into it. When the TARDIS team escaped from the Cave of Skulls, only to be greeted with a creepy forest. But this is the only way to escape back to the TARDIS, is through this forest. And Susan is very, very scared, but she's the only one out of the four that can remember the way back. Still fearful, but the team start to make their way back through the forest. But they come across an injured caveman, which is Za. And Barbara convinces the Doctor and Susan and Ian to help Za. And so Ian begins to make a makeshift stretcher for Za. But surprise, surprise, they are once again kidnapped. But they are taken back to the tribe's camp, where one of the tribe ladies doesn't want any fire to be made. Now the Doctor in this is very regretful about everything that's happened. And he starts to have some respect for Ian. And he is very hopeful in Barbara. I like the line where he says, I'm not a doctor of medicine. Ian, I think, is very brave in this episode. And he starts having a mutual respect for the Doctor. Barbara, I think, she's very fearful in this. But I think her the very human side of her comes out with the fact that she wants to help Za. But the Doctor, again, doesn't want to allow himself to be scared. But all he really wants to do is get back to the TARDIS and go somewhere else. I like the line that the Doctor says in this. He says, "Fear lives in us all, and it makes good companions of us all." So yeah, this episode ends up again with them being kidnapped. Surprise, surprise. There's a whole bunch of kidnapping going on in this story, but they are in the tribe camp, and that's the end of this part of the story. And on to the Firemakers. Now, at the tribe's camp, the Doctor is still trying to find a way back to the TARDIS. And with Ian's help, the Doctor and Ian both start a riot in the tribe's camp, which is hilarious. But the Doctor points out that the rock knife that Cal has, that he took from Za after injuring him in the forest, doesn't have any blood on it. But Cal's rock knife that he killed the old woman with does have blood on it, because the tribe are trying to figure out who killed the old woman. I also like how the Doctor tries to make Za realize that the leader of the tribe doesn't have to be the only one that can make fire. And Ian actually makes fire, but points out to Za that the Doctor is the leader of their particular tribe. But Ian is annoyed. After he made the fire, Za wouldn't set them free. Za, I think, is a very interesting character. In this one, he's kind of friendly, and he just wants to learn from the TARDIS team how to be a good leader. There is an absolutely hilarious scene in this where Za and Cal are fighting. It's just so funny, but yeah, Za ends up killing Cal, and then the TARDIS team are again kidnapped from, well, they're not kidnapped, but they're thrown back into the Cave of Skulls, where Susan comes up with an idea to trick the tribe to let them go. So that they set fire to these stakes and put them inside some skulls, so that the tribe think that the skulls are actually the TARDIS team. So the TARDIS team escapes from the Cave of Skulls and runs to the TARDIS and gets in it, but the tribe's people realize they've been tricked, start to follow them, but don't get there in time to catch them, and the TARDIS takes off. And in the panic of running and getting inside the TARDIS, the Doctor doesn't really have time to set the coordinates back to London in 1963. But hey, at least they're away from the cavemen and the cave of skulls. And then they land on a distant planet where the radiation count is completely off the charts, which starts the next adventure called The Dead Planet. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to review that. Anyways, guys, I want to know: have you guys seen these two stories? Have you watched the whole Empty Child story? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, guys, thanks again for watching, and like and subscribe.